Sorry, guys. Yeah, thank you. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, cool. So yeah, so even as a little girl, I loved solving puzzles because I love to find solutions and I love to organize. So when I was 14, I was living in Europe, in the Netherlands, where I grew up. I was organizing bus trips to Paris and to London and to Germany with young people, just to make new friends and already to network at a very young age. And then as I grew up, it had been my dream to travel the world. And I ended up in Ecuador, where I was doing missionary work, which was great until I got very sick. I had a severe salmonella infection, which like totally knocked me out. And I think that the antibiotics that they gave me made it even worse. I was like in the worst state I've ever been, exhausted and in pain. And then like the proverbial prince on the white horse came along. There was a guy from San Diego that, you know, came over to Ecuador and we started dating. We met online initially, and he proposed, and I thought, wow, this must be, you know, God's answers to my prayer. And I got all excited finding the wedding dress, and I left everything behind. And then the rug was pulled from under me. We were sitting in California, you know, beautiful Californian weather at a Mexican restaurant outside. And he looked at me, we were about to order, and he looked at me and said, well, Shemaya, the wedding is over. I was like, what? 2 weeks before the wedding, he broke up with me while I had given up everything, my residency for Ecuador, my life, my horses, my everything. I had no income because I was still recovering. And he told me, don't worry about working, I'll take care of you. And suddenly I was left with nothing. My suitcase and me basically ended up homeless with nothing but myself. So what do you do when life is so dark, when you don't know where to start, when you feel like this whole world's collapsing and you feel embarrassed, and like, where do you start rebuilding your business? And that was really one of the key things, what I'll share with you also today. The same principles for LinkedIn is getting communication out, because when you put out communication, you create space. And by that space allows you to make new relationship, networking, friendships. And from there, I was able to restart building my life. There was my suitcase. So welcome today to the leverage the power of LinkedIn and grow business to business sales. LinkedIn is great to make relationship, but specifically for business to business sales, because you can target them specifically. Here are some of the books that I wrote. This one was with John Assaraf, co-authored Step Into Your Vision, Top Business Leaders Share Their Goal Setting Secrets. The bestseller that was co-authored with Les Brown. And then the book Googleicious, which are the internet marketing secrets every business owner should use, just to give you a little bit of a background. So before we continue, how you can get the most value out of today? I want to do this little exercise. I'd like you to do the exercise with me. And by taking a deep breath in, when I say yes, take a deep breath in and count how long you can hold in your breath. Are you ready? Start. And then put in the chat, how many seconds were you able to hold your breath? How many seconds were you able to hold in your breath or breathe in? Okay, 12 seconds. Great, Jay. That's awesome. Who else? 41. Wow, that's amazing. Anyone else? 30 seconds, 44 seconds. You got the record, Kitty. That is great. That is amazing. But you notice that even though you're very good, eventually you still have to breathe out. And that's the key, what I want to share with you. That's why I always love the interaction, whether it's on the chat or in other ways, by participating, putting up your hand, because that way we create a flow both ways. If you're just sitting there and inhaling for the next hour, you're going to choke, which is what we really don't want to happen. So please participate, join in the chat, answer the question. Thank you, Lucy. I appreciate you. Definitely. And I'm sure that you have your own story where you are the hero. And thank you for sharing that. This is my mentor, Mayor Ezra. He definitely helped me restore my business and grow it to new levels, improving the life. And he mentioned he's a very successful businessman and coach as well. He said it's your ability to organize and nothing else that will determine if you win or lose. And the same is true your LinkedIn. you can do it the best way is when you develop a system. Because if it's just you, yes, you can send messages, but without the system, it's very difficult to track and to follow up. So real quick, who will benefit today? If you're a business owner, if you're a founder and you're frustrated with lack of results with LinkedIn, or you're ready to scale, like Kitty was saying, she's already doing very well. She wants to see, how can I take you to the next level and get even better results? If you're in sales, you're a marketing manager, or you just want to grow your income with LinkedIn, like Jade, you're a broker, you're in real estate, it really can be a great tool for you, if you're willing to make the changes. The statistics, 80% of entrepreneurs don't generate enough leads to support their growth goals. This was a survey done by Imagine Growth. 73% of buyers are more likely to consider a brand if the salesperson reaches out via LinkedIn. Isn't that interesting? This was on the State of Global Sales 2021, and it shows that people actually like when somebody reaches out to them on LinkedIn versus other methods. And 69% of sellers say they are committed to expanding their LinkedIn network, which was from the same report that they did, which is interesting. And that is why it's so good you're here, because if 69% of sellers are expanding their LinkedIn network, you better be one of them or your competition is going to take over. And the question is, if you don't, how much money are you throwing out of the window every month by not knowing how you can optimize your results with LinkedIn? So if this is you, if you're not creating the income that you could, it would be great to find out how you can set up systems to automate, in this case, specifically with LinkedIn, but also the systems to follow up and to stay in touch with people. If you're feeling stressed and overwhelmed, how can you get organized so there's more structure and you have more time? If you're not maximizing LinkedIn, what do you need to do to master the skills to get results? And this is what John Swarsinski, he's the founder of iCandy, the results that he's been having using the LinkedIn system that I've developed.
I've got business opportunities that are showing up from the LinkedIn things, but I've also got other areas of my career where things that have been blocked are opening up as well. And so it's even more than just a LinkedIn program. It's something that actually helps you get moving in all areas.
So today we're going to cover 3 points. The 3 moves is to discover how you set yourself apart on LinkedIn and how you, what makes it unique about you, how you design a plan to get results and improve the results that you're already getting so that you can deliver to the new clients that you're getting. Because the survey that I showed that most people would like to get more clients, but they don't really know where to start. You don't like yourself getting sales pitches if there are too many of them. So you don't want to do that to others. So how do you overcome that? Well, let's start with the first takeaway, discover. So first I have a question. Does anybody of you know who Stephen Curry is? Anybody heard the name? Yes, John, you want to put in the chat? Yeah, you know him? Okay, cool. Perry, if you just joined, please turn on your camera. I would love to see you. That would really be great. So we can have like this interaction together. Anybody else besides John? Okay, I'll share with you. He's short. He's actually 1.88 meters or 6.16 feet. He can't really jump very high. And early in his career, he got seriously injured and people were wondering if he could actually be a professional athlete anymore. Yet, he is an icon in basketball. He became a master in three-pointers. So let me quickly show for the people that are not very familiar in basketball what it means. So here you can see the basketball court, and most of the time, you know, the basket is here. You know, the players come close to throw it in and not risk losing the ball. What Stephen Curry was doing, you see here the three-point line. So instead of getting closer like most people and fighting them close by because he was so short and these other guys are tall, he would step away and score from the three-point line. And the more they moved into him, because after a while his competition was figured out, he would just move back. I'll just show you quickly so you can see what it looks like.
They do have a timeout. Decide not to use it. The clock from midcourt. Oh, I got something like that. Somehow.
So the question is, and this is one of the fundamentals, are you the Stephen Curry in your industry? Are you extraordinary? Are you a professional? And are you standing out from the crowd? Because there's many, business coaches, there are many realtors, there are many brokers. What is the thing that makes you unique? What makes you stand out? Because you want to become the icon in your industry. That's important. So otherwise, you're just like everybody else. How do you bring value? And what is the special gift that you bring to the world? How are you improving people's life with the service or product that you offer? And then when you have defined that, you can bring that back into your profile. Here is a quote that I found. It says, if you have a crappy profile and they're not doing any outreach, it's like winking at a girl in the dark. You know what you're doing, but nobody else does. So the first step is to be really clear about what's unique about you. Like Stephen Curry, he was not competing with all the tall guys close to the basket. He was training and training and training, and then he became exceptional by stepping back and being able to score like from much farther than anybody else ever did. And once you have that defined, now you can make sure that your profile is strong, because a great profile with a good headshot makes people want to connect and engage with you. If you notice, when people send you a connection request, in the section, you see the first few lines of their headline. So if you have a good headline, you click on it, you check the profiles, like, okay, who is this person? He doesn't have the best headshot here, but it clearly says what he does and how we can help you. Here's a few more examples. Dr. Chris Neveling, less stress, more energy, more clarity. Be the best you again. Increase your productivity, solve the root cause of fatigue and brain fog, leading authority and natural health and detox. So if you have any of these issues, it's very clear how Dr. Chris might be able to help you. And this is Ivan May before and after, and you can see the difference. If you have a black banner, there's very easy way. You can use Canva, there's templates you can find, but make it where it clearly communicates what it is that you offer. In 1 or 2 sentences, take your software products to the next level, your trusted team for product engineering. Also, it's good if it's, most people have here their title, but it doesn't really say what it is or what he does. Navi Studios can be photography, it can be, an art studio, it can be all kind of different things. You wouldn't necessarily know that he does software development. Here is another example, become an author, increase your credibility and help others. Compass Business Books. If you would like, I can have at the end, when we have some time over, like give you some feedback on some ideas to improve your profile if you put your LinkedIn profile in the chat for me, so you can start looking at that. So this is if you want to become an author. In your case, Jade, as a broker, what makes you exceptional as a broker? Why would I, obviously brokers, how can buy, help sell or buy a house, but what specifically makes you unique? That is really important. That's one of the key things to start within the profile, because it makes a difference also in your acceptance rate. And the more people accept your connection, the more people you can message with. Because on LinkedIn, you probably know that you can message the first degree people. You can message people you are a first degree connection, and you can send connection requests to second and third. So the more connections you have, the bigger your network becomes and the bigger the potential of your network. And this is the difference that it made when Anissa started working with us, and we helped her to improve her profile.
Working with Shemaya and being able to have her expertise in building my profile was super helpful. I had what I thought was a pretty good profile, and I actually do think it was a decent profile. But the difference when I was able to run things by Shemaya and we worked together to craft something that really communicated the message that I wanted to communicate made a significant difference. I could really tell that when people, obviously I reach out to somebody, they're going to look at my profile. I was getting a whole lot more interest and a lot more communication back. I feel like I was able to more clearly communicate exactly how we could help the client, our ideal client, and therefore our ideal client was reaching back. So that was very beneficial.
So this is this one example of what it can really help you. Anissa's with us today. Anissa, would you share like what is one of the key things, like in really 30 seconds or less, that you've learned or that you've improved from the key things that you got from your profile, or that you learned what you had to do differently?
Sure. From creating the profile, I tend to be a little long-winded. I think everybody wants all the specifics. And Shamai has been tremendously valuable for me to really fine-tune what it is I'm communicating and make it much less windy. And even like right now, keeping things to 30 seconds is not always easy for me. So that was a huge benefit in crafting my profile and making sure that what I was saying actually landed the way I thought it was going to.
Cool. That's so true. Thank you.
Was that 30 seconds? Just kidding.
Oh, good. And that's a very good point, because like we're all excited about what we do and we want to share it like as many words as we can. But usually people are busy, they don't have much time, so they just scroll through anyway. If it's too long, they won't even start reading. Usually they just skip over it and think, okay, I'm going to get back to it. And you may feel, well, I don't really have time to optimize my LinkedIn profile right now. But the question is, if you don't have time, you are going to miss the boat, because LinkedIn definitely is growing. There's a growing popularity. There are already millions of users, but many have a profile and not active. But more and more people and more companies are becoming more active on LinkedIn. So the second takeaway is to design a strategy that will increase your income. The path to more income has to do with the income formula. And sometimes it may feel like a maze, like how do you get there? How do you get more clients to increase your income? So I'd love to share with you the income formula on LinkedIn. The number one thing is to start with quantity. Yes, you don't want to spam people, I understand, but the more messages you send, think about it. If you suppose you could send 500 connection requests with a 20% acceptance rate, that would be 100 new people in your network that you can message. So if you message them as well, obviously follow up and send them thanks for connecting. Where if you only message 50 people, even though it's the perfect connection request, even if you have an 80% connection acceptance rate, it's still much lower than getting the 500 people, and still 500 people will see you. And then over time, you improve the quality. So the key is to really start consistently sending connection requests and then also sending messages. Most people have a lot of people in the network, but they actually never message them. And don't message them once, keep following up and keep track. And if you write, this was the one thing that frustrated a lot of people on LinkedIn, is all the sales pitches. Don't write them a whole book on what you do and what you can offer. Just start a conversation and share, as you would sharing with a good friend. Like a good friend would say, hey, if I could show you, like, for example, for Dr. Chris, hey, if I could show you how to have more energy and be more productive, is that something you'd be interested in? Just show interest and find something that you can compliment them on, because everybody likes it when you look at their profile and you say, wow, that's a beautiful picture. Or, maybe they're volunteering and they're helping orphans. Say, wow, that's amazing that you're doing that. What are you currently working on? This is what I'm doing. Is it something you'd be interested in? So just being like those 3 key points work really well in getting people to engage with you. And that's one of the key things, is to message your network regularly so you stay in front of them. And using Sales Navigator, which is the paid membership from LinkedIn, which I would highly recommend, you can more specifically target people. So in this case, it would be the first degree connections, but it would only be the people that have more than 3 years experience. So not just new business owners, because usually they may not have the funds or they're not ready, or CEOs that have more than 3 years experience. So you can target really specifically. Like in Anissa's case, she can look in her network and say, okay, who are people are in real estate? Who are real estate agents? Who are real estate investors? So that you can customize your message specifically for this group of people without necessarily having to go one by one. You can create a system with a personalized touch. That is the best way to get more messages out without sounding like a salesperson. Here you can laser target new connections. So again, with Sales Navigator, you can target very specifically who you want to reach out to, profession or even zip code, or who is in your area. In your case, Barry, you can, I don't know if you know that, but you can in the account section also target companies with a specific revenue and then find the CEO or find the person you want to talk to in that company. You can also target followers of influencers. Like for example, Mike Harmon, he's a medical doctor that specialized in functional medicine. So if you are in natural health, you can see that all these people are interested in natural health. That's why they're following him. So you can even target those people. You can also target events. So this is a friend of mine. He has a very great event to eliminate burnout, burnout to brilliance, eliminate burnout. So you can, when you join the event, you can see you have permission to message them, even though they're not my first degree connection. And as I said, there are systems that you can do it that it goes a little bit faster. But you already know that these people are interested in better work-life balance. So if you are a health coach, if you're doing anything in that area, you can target these people. In your case, Rosalie, you can find people like if they're event related to fashion or anything in your industry, you can target those people because you know that's already their interest. Group members you can also target even though you're not connected. Like I mentioned for Anissa, these are real estate agents, professionals, companies, brokers. This for her is like a gold mine because you know that these people are interested in real estate. And then using Sales Navigator, she could even target them more specifically if she would like to target all the real estate agents in California, for example. Oh, yeah, this is the example. So real estate agents, you can target them more specifically from that group, because sometimes in the group, there are also people selling to other real estate agents. So marketing companies and copywriters and all those kind of people. So you can then target specifically on job title and on geography. And a great smart growth hack is LinkedIn event. Well, you are here, so obviously working. But what could you do? How could you create a LinkedIn event for your own industry where you bring value to people and you teach them something? Because even the people that are not here, some people message me, say, I'm not able to make it, but I look forward to the replay. They're still registered and they've shown interest. So at least people are putting up their hand and saying, hey, this is a topic that I'm interested in. Because as you know, like on LinkedIn, you can't do this on Facebook where you join a group and then you can message to people in the group here, but it's a little different with Facebook groups where you see the post. If you post on LinkedIn in groups, people won't see it on their own LinkedIn page. But LinkedIn events are really a great way to get in front of more people and bring something of value to them, and then helping them create a webinar that will convert, like for Andrew.
135%. That's 135% conversions from one webinar. So thank you, Shemai. You are amazing. You actually get to the fundamentals of an issue extremely quickly, and that just delivers. It just works. Thank you so much.
And that's the other thing. If you want to help with a webinar, that is really important because that's basically the sales process if you're using LinkedIn events. Number 3, the takeaway is deliver. So it's important that it's like a farmer when you have fruits. So, if you want to sell on LinkedIn, it's usually not like the first time, unless somebody exactly needs what you offer. Usually it takes time for the fruits to ripen. So when you start LinkedIn campaigns, you start also messaging your existing connections, which may be some of your friends, some of your clients, some of prospects that's been looking or following you for a while, so that in the meantime, the new fruits can ripen. And that's the key thing you want to do, is to create engagement. I mentioned earlier, if you have messages, to keep it short. So really the best formula, if you send messages, is find something you admire about the person. And like genuinely, don't make it like something fake, but something that you're like, wow, this is amazing. Usually people have like what they did in your company or some of their track records or their results. Find something you admire that's special, and then briefly share about what you do and ask them, hey, would you be interested in something you have to offer? And it depends on your sales process. Most people then set up like maybe a Zoom call or a virtual coffee, as they call it. But the key here is, as you can see, the shorter emails get better response rates. Response rates for different lengths of emails compared to the overall average rate. So if this is your line average for all emails, you can see that if your message is 0 to 400 words, it gets a 22% higher response rate. Well, this is for InMail, but the same is true for regular messages. And InMail, for those of you who are fairly new, is the messages that you can send when you have a paid membership. So you have 50 if you have Sales Navigator that you can send to any user if you're not connected. Or if you have Sales Navigator, the other person also has Sales Navigator, then you can send up to 800 emails per month for free every month. So you can see here, it drops pretty quick between 401 and 800 words or characters, sorry, not words. You basically, it's a little bit higher than average, but the moment it gets more than 801 words, you lose a lot of, it starts going down to -6 and -11 if it's 1200 plus characters. So a great way, as I know that most people don't have much time, so what we have developed is a campaign management tool so that you can send, here is event invitations, you can send connector messages, Gmail messages, like the Gmail sync. I will show you that in a little bit, messages to first degree connections, so that you can send a message and you can also follow up. The other thing is cool is that you can track your results. Here you can see the messages that go out daily, the open emails, the connection requests that are being sent, but it gives us statistics. So if you send connection requests, you can see, is this message that I'm sending working, or is the statistics really low, and what can I do to improve it? And keep in mind that once you start on LinkedIn, the sales will come from existing and old clients first, because they already like and trust you. So the marketing campaign, once you want to position you as the industry leader, and then they will be the first purchase. So you know your marketing campaign is working. And then other people you also see start reaching out to you, and you really build the relationship. That's the key thing on LinkedIn, and looking for ways that you can bring value and be genuine in your interactions and setting you apart. This is what I mentioned before, we're opening the flow while planting seeds, watering them and nurturing them to grow and ripen. So those are the new connections. That takes a bit of time. And the best way to see what is actually working is to test different approaches. Is to see, okay, you can have a direct message like, hey, I have an offer for this problem, or indirect and say, here's something valuable. Like you can do a little gift or some tips, or maybe a link to an article or a post. You can see what happens if you send automated messages versus highly personalized messages. You can see what happens if you do templated campaigns, or if you do social selling, so really focusing, commenting on people's posts, so you get in front of them, so that you have like a multi-action approach. And that's great when you have a tool, because sometimes it can be challenging in LinkedIn and the inbox to track. Here you can see Ivan May. I showed him earlier what we did. We changed his header, we updated his profile, changed the cover. And here you can see that out of all the connection requests sent, 53% accepted his connection request, which is very high, because usually on average it would be between 15 and 20%. But it's in, of course, I also want to show off, so I'm showing you one of the best, one of the best results. But also it wasn't necessarily the first campaign. You also have to improve it. But if you don't have the statistics, it's very hard to see what's working or not working. Who here is sending the maximum of 100 connection requests a week? Are you sending 100 connection requests? Or not yet? No. Okay, John, that is awesome. Jade, not yet. Still growing. Chandler? I hope I pronounce this correctly. Not yet. Okay, cool. Well, what's really nice with the system we developed is that we can do it for you behind the scenes while you're doing other things. And then when people reply, then you step in. Total replied after connecting is 50% as well, which is really amazing, because usually it's between 15 and 20. Again, here it comes to testing and measuring the results and saying, okay, what approach do you take? How can you be friendly without being salesy? How can you sell without people feeling like, oh no, not another sales pitch? Because really nobody's waiting for a sales pitch, and yet people have a problem, and if you can solve it, they would love to buy from you. Here is a network growth hack. John, I don't know if you're already using this, but have you used the Gmail sync to grow your network faster? Because LinkedIn allows you about 100 connection requests per week. And it varies because I have some, they can only do 60 if they're a fairly new account and not that many connections, and others can do 120, 130, like Ivan, because he had such a high acceptance rate, then the algorithms give him a little bit more space. So like a little bit more, yeah, room, so to speak. So what you can do is you can grow your network beyond the 100 connection requests a week by using the Gmail sync feature. So what you do, the best thing is to open new Gmail accounts. In this case, it's shamayaepic@gmail.com. So not my regular personal Gmail account, because then there's too many people. Then you can upload your contacts. So either existing contacts that you have, like email addresses from client or prospects, or even there is a way that you can get them from the Sales Navigator search. And then you upload them to Gmail using contacts. So contacts, the contacts feature. And then you add them here and you say, I want to connect them. I want to sync my Gmail account with LinkedIn. Then it will allow you like several hundred people a week on top of the regular 100 connection requests that you can still connect with. So once your connection requests are synced, you can then connect with them and invite them outside of the 100 invitation requests per week limit. So if you do that, and you can send another 500 where you have the email address, you do need to have the email address, but there's also ways that you can get to that. So if you want some input, John, feel free. I will put the link to set up a meeting in the, maybe I can do that now. I think it's this one. Yeah. So there's the link. If you would like, if it goes a bit too fast and you would like to know how to use the strategy to like really boost or put your network growth on steroids, click there, book a call, and be happy just to show you and go through it a little bit faster. Make sure though that you have a system so that you can message them after they've accepted. Because if you grow your network and they never hear from you again, not very effective. But this is a very cool method to grow your network fast.
Has really been witnessing our team identify an incredibly exciting new market segment for us, which is corporate gifting. And through Shamaya's help in establishing a targeted communications campaign across LinkedIn, we've seen a lot of traction in generating conversations with high-level decision makers in the right positions to be purchasing our products for their teams and their clientele. And what's really exciting about this is that through the automation of these well-crafted LinkedIn campaigns, we are seeing an extremely positive uptake by the LinkedIn community who are saying yes, they want to know more, and are converting into email conversations and sales pipelines with incredible success and numbers. Thank you, Shamaya.
So part of it is also having a good strategy. Like, what is your way in the door? As I mentioned in the beginning with Stephen Curry, what sets you apart? What makes you unique? And what would want people, want to reach out to you and find out more about what you're doing? Thinking of you, your special smile with your special grace. You're a special someone I can never replace. I love you and always will, because you're in my space that no one can fill. I would love to have your permission to introduce to you my husband, Chris, who happens also to be here, and his beautiful daughters. And the system that I developed that allowed us actually for him to retire as a medical doctor from his practice in Canada, and now move together to South Africa. And he now launched his online business, helping people improve their health. So I just would like to see, do I have your permission to share really briefly how I can help you in your business? Yeah, do I have your permission? Or I can see one hand, Barry, that's cool. Okay, cool, James also. John, can I share, is it okay? Yeah, okay, cool. Anissa, I didn't see your hand, but maybe you were not on camera. Okay, thank you. 1 second to adjust. Sorry about that. We'll just continue. Because what we developed is a system to turn LinkedIn in a sales machine. So maybe a little bit hard to see, but basically what you have to do with LinkedIn is send out messages. Here it says existing connections, and we're sending out messages to new connection and connection requests. So this is the whole LinkedIn outreach system. From here, and not just one, because as you know, anybody in sales, anybody in business will know that the money is in the follow-up. They've researched this, they did this survey like with companies all over the world, and on average, it takes 12 to 14 times follow-up before the sales is closed. Only most people stop after 2 or 3 and miss out on the sale. So what we do is we set up a system so we can follow up with the people, and then here you get the people that are interested, move them into your database so that you can integrate them. You can integrate the system depending on which system you use. Usually it can be done so that you now have their email address and continue to communicate with them. If they have interest, you can set up a sales call, get them registered for whatever product, what it is you're doing or what you're selling. And at the same time, keep educating them. So keep offering value, whether it's a LinkedIn event or webinars or other information. And that's the key in the success. So whatever it is you're selling, start with a strategy. Like what is it, what approach are you going to take? How can you implement it? And then the key also is the accountability, because usually with most things, people just get busy. And then, you know, week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, a year, few years go by and you think, oh, I was still going to do that, because that will help you get the results you're looking for. And that will make the difference. Obviously, you can do it by yourself, and you can do it manually, one message at a time, which is fine. It's like going from New York to LA. You know, you can still find a horse and a carriage and go by horse and wagon. It's not the most comfortable, not the fastest, but you will get there eventually. Or we can work together. It's like flying a private jet. It's much more comfortable and it's much more fun, and you'll get there much faster. And then personally, these are some of the people I trained with. Joe Bauer, he's a master in presenting. Tony Robbins, Laura Langmeyer, she's known as the Millionaire Maker. My mentor, Mayor Ezra. I probably spent over $208,000 for the transformations, the sales skills, the methods, the copywriting for the messaging. And the good news is you won't have to invest $208,000. I'd be happy to help you and guide you on your journey. Just decide, because if not now, when? So if you have any questions, feel free to email me, or or click the link that's in the chat if you would like to make an appointment. I would be happy to just look and see and give you some feedback, even just on your profile, and see what's working, what's not. I did notice, I'll go into that in a minute. I saw you put your LinkedIn profile in the chat, Jade. We can have a look at that for sure. For now, are there any questions, anything specific you would like to know regarding LinkedIn and the LinkedIn outreach strategy? Okay, well, let's have a look. If you have your linked, yeah. Oh, I heard somebody unmuting. You can unmute yourself. If you want some feedback on your LinkedIn profile, you can definitely put it in the chat while I'm opening Jade's profile. Is it okay with you, Jade, if I share it? Share the screen? Yeah, okay. Okay, can you still see my screen? Yeah, okay, cool. What a gorgeous photo of you. I love it. Very nice. What I would just do, I would just zoom in a little bit so you can see more of your face. You're so beautiful. You want to make sure that people can actually see it. Now you're a little bit in the background. There is a tool, I can send you an email with the link, where you can actually put in your photo, and then other people will vote and see how does it come across. And does it look professional? Do you look reliable? So you can test different profiles for that. This is very nice. At least it's not the standard gray, but you can imagine after today that it would be good for you to explain more here what exactly it is you do. So it's nice, it's different. But when I come here, it's not very clear to me, like, okay, wow, I need to call Jade because she's the best for real estate. Because when you say big boss houses, do you mostly do multifamily, or what kind of real estate do you do? I have to unmute yourself, please.
So Big Boss Houses is primarily focused on value add real estate development opportunities.
Oh, okay. So you're looking also for investors?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, please, girl, you have to let us know. So it's cool that you're the founder and CEO of Big Boss Houses, but I may have money I want to invest with you, but I don't even know I can.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So make it here when you say specifically saying, hey, offering investors a solid or a great return on investment, or, you know, something that shows like, why would I reach out to you? And why would I invest my, or at least make an appointment to find out more, right? And here, the About section. My name is Jaysar Hadid. I'm a detail real professional with extensive training in real estate sales. Skillful client. I'm also a collaborative leader. This is really great. Like, wow. And you're still so young and you already have all this experience. That is really good. Founded in 2020, but focus on rates such as syndications rates. Okay, awesome. This is good. This is great. What I would recommend is that you tweak it a little bit and you make it about why people should reach out to you more than about the qualities that you bring. Because people want to know all this, that you're detailed, professional, that you have training. It's all really great. I love it. It's very good. But the first thing people always ask is, what's in it for me? So if you can start by focusing on what is the value that you bring. So if you're looking to invest, or if you're looking for, like, what is one thing that makes you unique? Do you have a high return investment? Is there a little risk? Like, what is special about investing with you? I can't hear you. No, you're muted.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Special about investing with me. I guess I haven't thought about that thoroughly yet. I mean, I'm young,
Okay,
I have ambition and positive energy, and I can run the numbers on your ROI.
okay, that's good. But you see, you may need to tweak it a bit and polish it up to see, okay, what really makes you stand out? You can see, and you can do that in different ways. Maybe you have a personal story you can tell. You can see here with, I'll show you quickly. Different ways that you can make your profile, your about section. Like, actually, this is kind of a landing page. It should be like a sales page, the about section. Like here, so this is Dr. Chris. He's a medical doctor and he helps you find the root cause. He starts his program at, I failed to save the life that meant the most to me. The first thing you think, what? For him to share that, it kind of pulls you in his story. So then he explained, like, as a general practitioner, doctor in the army in Angola, family physician and head of the emergency room, I've saved thousands of lives. Like, literally, he's like unbelievable what he's done. He was running his own family practice in Dawson, making good money, life was great. Then one day my world collapsed. My high school sweetheart and wife for over 35 years, Francisca, was diagnosed with breast cancer. After watching her suffer for a year, she died in my arms. She was only 55. I was devastated. So you can see his personal story brings out, like, why do you want to work with a doctor like this? In other words, he's an incredible medical doctor. He has the experience, the expertise, but then from there he discovered, hey, there's more to the medical system that the medical system is not telling us. That's now he's addressing the root cause and not just prescribing medication. You see, so that's definitely something you can improve. It's cool to see you are posting, so that is very nice. That is here again here too, even in the experience. I know you are it's good that you are the CEO, the owner, See how even in the experience, say, this company, what my company does for people. What do you do for me? Because if you do the sequel, it's all good, but then lucrative annual cash flow, yeah, that's very good. So maybe you want to start even with that. We provide lucrative annual cash flow and NOI long-term. What do you do for them? Make it more about the potential client than on yourself. And then also it's always good to get some recommendations from people that say, oh, it was great working with her. She got me results, things like that. And you can also do some things where you have videos in this other section, in the experience section. So people get to see you a little more. So that would be just a great idea. Any questions on that?
No, that was great.
Okay, cool. And then again, as I said, when people message you, when you message people, it can send a connection request. they will see this and this won't tell them really what you can do. So if you would say something like, make your money grow, now I'm like, oh, I have money, how can I make it grow? You know, I'm just thinking something off the top of my head, something that catches their attention so they click and watch your full profile and then say, okay, I want to connect with her. Here we have Deondra. Thank you so much. I hope it's okay, Deondra. I don't see you. Is it okay? I share it on the screen. If you can turn on your camera, it would be great because I'd love to hear from you. Oh, here you have. Oh, that's kind of cool. I help people keep and grow their money, get out of debt, and retire with peace of mind. Very nice. Well done. Great headline. Is there anything specific, Deondra, that you work with, like specific people or just anyone? Because if you can make it even, just checking the chat. Okay, are you there, Deondra? Otherwise, it may be better if we do it on a personal call because it's kind of difficult to give you feedback if I don't really understand what your business is. So this is the first thing. If you send me a connection request, I like to think help keep and grow money. I just wonder like people and then get out of debt. So I wonder, okay, but I'm not in debt. Are you able to help me, or is it just for people in debt or, you know, people that don't have a lot of money? Is it for people that are older because you can retire, which is also great. But you may want to make it a bit more specific. And I don't understand with 316 Life and Health Solutions what it means. Anybody? I mean, it doesn't mean anything to me. I think maybe it's the name of your company, but to me it's kind of confusing because I don't know.
It looks like life and health insurance or coverage.
Oh, okay, that's smart. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. I didn't figure that one out, but then I still wonder why is the 3 and what's the 16? Okay, let's see in the about section. Dedicated, decisive, and deep professional with proven skills and accomplishment in leadership. Intensive contact with the workers. You know, this is really great. You can see she's a leader. She's looked like community focused, establish a report, show good communication skills. But the question is, so this would be great if you're applying for the job. I would expand on it a little bit, but it must be a lot of people, they have their about section about them, their experience, their qualifications. If you're looking for a job that can work, if you're looking for business or clients, you really want to turn this into a sales page, but just a little more subtle. If you understand what I mean, don't make it like obvious. But see, how can you draw people in and saying, okay, I need to talk to this guy. Like, for example, I'll show you another, this is Janelle Paris. Speaking of specific also, so she doesn't help anyone, generating more revenue for realtors, luxury property auctions, highest price, fastest close. Like within 10 seconds, you know exactly who she's working for, you know exactly what she does. And so if you are a realtor and you want more revenue, this is somebody to find out like, oh, how does she do it? What, you know, at least it catches your attention to find out more, right? Helping realtors increase their revenue and market share with auction marketing. Don't lose another listing. Let me show you how to keep your commission and sell more properties. I mean, if you are a realtor, I think that would kind of catches your attention. Won't you say? Makes sense, right? And then she has a little different approach in her profile that we did. Is like it has some success stories of people. Like the house has been on the market for 12 months and we had only 5 showings. The sellers didn't have to sell, but they were ready to move on. Thanks to Prestige Auction, I was able to close their home in 60 days with 14 bidders. So they got a good price in the end. If you're a realtor or a broker, or even if you have a house for sale, I want to know, like, how does she sell with within 60 days with 14 bidders compared to 5 showings in 12 months? And then here she briefly explained that by partnering with us, you retain your full commission. So really the benefits. So the about section should address the pain points in your industry and then go into the benefits that you can do for them with a call to action. Here, let's chat, send me a DM to schedule or email me. So those are some of the things that are very, very important in your about section. So those are actually, I would say, the 4 key areas, like a nice profile picture, the cover is important, the headline, and then the about section. She's still working on getting some more recommendations, and so really to build. So we'll be doing that as well. But those are the key things of a strong profile. And then the second is, once you have that, now you want to start your strategy and start messaging people, targeting the right people with the right message and testing to see what's working, because it's not always what you think. So that's why you want to have a system so you can keep the statistics and say, okay, if this message gets 25% acceptance rate and this message gets 35, let's skip the first one, obviously. Oh, that is beautiful. It's a reference to the scripture, she says, John 3 verse 16. Nice. Oh, okay, yeah. It can be beautiful, but then maybe in the about section, you can explain what the 3:16 is and what actually is in John 3 verse 16, so that people that may have not such a strong biblical background can also understand what it means. That's a good idea. Okay, Chandra, I'm looking forward to meeting you. Definitely for sure. Okay, cool, guys. Thank you so much for joining. It was great to have you. As I mentioned, if you would like set up a meeting for your, just to review your profile, just get some ideas for your own strategy, which you can do, feel free to reach out. I'd love to connect with you. What is your business, John?
Unmute. I have a network marketing business. I've been in network marketing for 30 years.
Oh, wow, cool. What kind of product?
I specialize in healthy aging.
Oh, that's a great market.
Yeah, well, I'm 72, but 50 inside.
Oh, whoa. Well, you
and-
definitely do. You don't even look 50.
And I got stage 4 melanoma and recovered in 3 months.
Wow.
My
Congratulations.
oncologist and the doctors and the nurses at Princess Margaret said they have never, ever seen that happen before. And he had said, I'd never had a patient your age like you. They all have multiple health problems in addition to cancer. He said, other than having stage 4 cancer, you're in absolutely perfect health. And he couldn't figure out why.
Wow.
I
That's
know.
incredible. You
So
have an amazing story.
So if people want to live like I live, I can help them.
Nice. Like you're a walking billboard. Are you in Toronto?
I am, yes.
Oh, okay, cool. Okay, I've just pulled up your profile. Yeah, John, you need your story in your about section.
Yeah, I was thinking that as you were talking. I said, I know how to.
Yeah, for sure. This is so, that's so powerful. Because how many, who's not, and either themselves or somebody they know is struggling with their health. Yeah, Dr. Chris can tell you the statistics are like shocking, like of the number of people, and I'm sure it's not only cancer, but there's different health, challenges that people have. What's the name of your company?
My company is Kingbird Group International. That's my business.
Mm-hmm.
And the network marketing company I work with is New Skin Enterprises.
Okay, I'm not familiar with
They do skincare on one division and health on the other.
Oh, okay. Fabulous.
My wife keeps people looking young, and I keep them living young.
Yeah, well, I think you do both probably. Because you look so amazing. That's amazing. That's beautiful. How successful have you been? You're using LinkedIn to get new clients or to find new business builders?
It's one of the tools. I use a lot of tools, but that's one of the tools. And I have at times maxed out my weekly connection requests. And it's variable. Sometimes I get good results and sometimes I don't. It's just depending on who I'm trying to connect with.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, I will show you if you would like to. Let me go over a little faster with Gmail. I can show you.
Sure.
Yeah, that would be great for you. I have another tool as well. If you want to meet, we can definitely do that. There's another tool for Facebook, because on Facebook, you can target people more specifically in groups with specific issues. So yeah, we love to help you because I really love the purpose. I'm kind of a health nut myself, so I'm definitely into all the natural and healthy and great ways of living. So cool. Okay, Shalmina, great to see you. Thanks for turning on your computer, your camera.
Hello.
Thank you for joining.
Hi. Okay, so I'm actually part of a company which is into making art for games.
You're what? Sorry, I missed it.
I'm part of a company which makes game art. So we make art for all kinds of games.
Cool.
Yeah.
Very interesting. And are you using LinkedIn?
Yes.
So, okay.
I'm using LinkedIn more to connect different clients all across the globe. That's one way to connect them because we are based in one part of the world. So we don't really have that long of a reach other than, such platforms becoming a point where you can actually go and connect with them and share your work and try to have a call with them if possible. And if they want your services. So we are a purely service-based kind of a company.
Okay, and who would then be your client?
Our clients are going to be game developers.
Ah, of course, and you create the art for them. Oh, cool. Okay. Well, definitely, if you'd like to meet and set up a call, please do so. Would love to connect and look more into depth, because then for now is just about to wrap up. Anything you would like to share? Maybe a takeaway that you got from today?
I actually wanted to know how to go about it. So this was nice. It was a good introduction, which also creates this warm to think in for me to sort of read more about it, research more about it. So that was nice. Also to hear everyone's story, that's also inspiring, because then you get to see that there are others around the globe who are doing their best in their best way possible. So that's always something to look up to. So that was one of the reasons I decided to join in.
Oh, well, thank you for joining. And definitely, I'd love to look with you a little bit more in depth, but then it's better if we do, because we're already like wrapping up the time-wise, and I don't want to rush you too much. So yeah, feel free, book a call, the links in the chat. Then we can definitely look into it more specifically for your industry, and we can kind of look in Sales Navigator, like, who would be the right market for you to target and kind of what type of messages would be good. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you for joining.
Thank you so much.
I look forward to hearing from you, and then we'll be in touch. And lots of success. Amazing people.